Yep.
Okay.
Hey, we're live at the Cichlid Exchange in Portland, Oregon. So we're going to check out behind the scenes of one of the best, I guess, unique wholesalers in the country for freshwater fish. So if you're into anything from a shrimp all the way to the little nano fish to puffers to shrimp to cichlids, do you know this guy? That's Steve Lundblad. There's two of them running around, but this is a real one.
The real one, yes.
Yes, they're both in the pet industry
actual
or fish
fish guy.
industry. Yeah, the actual fish guy. So we're gonna go with Steve and check out what he's got going. How many tanks do you have, Steve?
There are 1,300 aquariums in this room.
1,300. Holy cow!
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna obviously not see all of them.
Not unless you want to be here all day.
Okay,
we're not
no,
gonna do that.
okay. So we'll avoid that. I'm pretty sure people out there want to see it all. So, but we're just gonna go check it out. I'm not gonna really get into too many questions, but all we're gonna do is let you do what you do, being a fish geek, and we're just gonna walk around, see what's unique, exciting. You're also gonna see this on our YouTube channel. We'll transfer it over there too. So check out other videos there. But we're gonna go to town with Steve.
Go to town with Steve.
All right, Steve. So speak up and just tell us a little bit about how long you've been in business.
What's going on here? Well, let me start by saying I have a cold, so my voice is going to sound a little weird.
Okay.
Maybe a bit muffly, but I'll try to do the best I can.
Well, they'll tell us, hey, you guys do something if you can't hear this guy. I can
Okay.
try to fix it.
Let's see. We've been in business here 35 years. Cichlid Exchange has always stood for quality, best fish you can get, best variety you can get. And
So you're more than cichlids? You're Cichlid Exchange?
And that means, well, Cichlid Exchange started with just selling cichlids.
Okay.
And that was many, many years ago. We realized that if you want to stay around in this industry,
Well, you actually adjust to what the
cichlids
needs are.
doesn't really work very well. So you have to evolve to what the public wants to buy.
Got it.
Unfortunately, a lot of the bigger, more aggressive cichlids require too much space, and in today's world with people having smaller homes and smaller aquariums,
Yeah.
a lot of them don't work as well.
Actually, it's gone, in my opinion, of course, it's gone both ways. Like, people really want aggressive fish that are eaters and have predator tanks, or do they do the planted and smaller things as well? Nano.
There's that too. Nano fish are definitely the, I wouldn't say up and coming, because that's not true. They've been going for a number of years now, and it's just because of the small tanks. They work well with plants.
Okay.
They work well together in a very small space, and very colorful small fish. So that's one,
Great.
obviously, one niche. Like you mentioned, predators. That's another side. A lot of people like individual predators. So it's like one fish that lives by himself and eats other things. But
Right, right.
it's not necessarily the best for business, because you sell a person one fish and you're not going to sell them anymore.
Correct,
So
correct.
you will sell them feeders or something else to feed that fish, but you won't be continually...
And you don't want to give feeder fish to most predators anyways, even though people
It's
think,
best that you can train them onto something other
Yeah.
than fish, yes, because it's not always the best for them. Most feeders are not well.
yeah, I call it 99% parasites, 1% water.
There you go. So that's probably a good one.
So-
You can get them to eat live food, frozen food, many different things. And you can
Cobalt food.
and you can get most of them to eat it. Depending on what it is, you can adapt them to it. You've got to get them used to it slowly, but
Okay.
they eventually take it, yes.
Cool.
And Cobalt does make some nice products that they would
Well,
definitely take.
that's a thumbs up there. Thank you. But why don't you show us around? And before we go, can you tell people, you said the public, so explain that a little bit about your business model, because what we're going to see is not somebody can walk off the street and see what you have here.
No, the Cichlid Exchange is a wholesale-only facility, so we sell only to retail fish stores. They need to have a brick-and-mortar location.
Okay.
That does not mean in your house. It means actually in an actual business location. Excuse me. With business hours.
Okay.
That's what's the requirements to be able to buy from us. And so, no, the general public is not allowed into this building. So
Got it.
you're
Okay.
going to see stuff that you would never otherwise get to see.
So if somebody out there is interested in any of these, they can go to their local store and request to contact you, the store with local fish store, LFS, contact you and get the fish that you see here and can get it done.
That's ideal, yes. If you have a store in your town that happens to buy fish from us,
Right.
then you can request some of the fish from them, and hopefully that will entice them to go ahead and add them to their orders.
Okay, perfect. And you have a bunch of stores already that work with you.
Stores all across the country, coast to coast. So
Can they find that on your website where you can say? So you just
you will not know. You'd have to go in and
kind of just ask.
figure out. Yes, you'd have to
Okay,
ask.
all right. Well, let's get to the good stuff, so to speak, and check out the fish. And we're going to let you do what you do. So
as I said, we carry a huge variety of fish. We started off with just cichlids, and now we have all different kinds of fish. Anything tropical, basically. We also have some goldfish, but not a lot. Our idea is that as a wholesale distributor, you would be able to buy fish from us that are now ready to be sold in your store. Quarantine is not needed. That's what our focus is. You're going to buy fish that are healthy, ready to go.
wait, you
shouldn't have any losses.
So say that again, because that's very important. With most of the fish out there, you have to do.
Unfortunately, over the years, a lot of people to believe in the way to cut costs and be able to compete on the price game. A lot of people have decided that they've given up quarantine for price, and that is an unfortunate thing that's happened, and that leads to very poor quality fish in a lot of the stores you see, which of course then leads to the home aquarists buying fish that are not well or sick.
It's a success.
And dying on them.
Yeah, and the success rate drops.
And people will only have their fish die so many times before they keep buying fish.
Got it. So you're saying that
we don't
yours.
want people out of the hobby. We want people in the hobby, and the way to do that is to have healthy fish in your stores.
Right at the beginning, right. So what do you do here? Like, not to get too detailed.
So the other advantage to a wholesaler here in this case is you're buying fish that are quarantined and ready, but you can also buy the amount of fish you want to buy. You're not required to buy hundreds of a kind of guppy. You know, you could buy as few as 12, you know, so that you can get a variety of fish in your store and not be handicapped by having to transship fish. So what we do is we get them in, we clean them up. That means is we make sure that any medication needs they need are taken care of. And the most important thing is to feed them, because a lot of these fish come in from long range, bagged long time, not handled with the best care, and so most important thing you can do for most of them is feed them.
So feed and water change.
Feed, water change, and take care of any medication problems that you will have.
And
a lot of fish, live bears that we're looking at now, have more medication problems than some, and most of the reason is because of the way they're shipped. To keep the prices low, the packs are quite high. And so when the packs are high, and there's any delays or anything, you're asking for problems.
So when you say packs are high, you're saying that how many come in a box?
Yeah, so that means packs. The idea of packs is basically for your cost of freight. So to keep the price of fish low, what that means is they pack more fish, or they put more fish in a box to keep the freight low so that the fish are cheap.
Got it.
The drawback to that is if you put too many fish in a box, your freight's cheap, but the fish come in bad shape.
Got it. So it's that fine line.
I would much rather do the reverse, because it's very hard in a lot of cases, even though we do have pretty good experience with a lot of these fish, if they arrive in very bad shape, a lot of times they may not recover.
Got it.
They don't come back to the way they were.
So, and this is going back when I used to be into the live bears, they say guppies are horrible, they always die. Is that changed? Is that too much inbreeding, or is it just poor packing?
It's a lot of inbreeding, yes. It's a lot of poor packing, and it's a lot of poor quality fish.
So it's almost everything.
I mean, I don't know how to say that. I'm not saying bluntly. You get what you pay for.
Got it.
If you buy very, very cheap fish from a vendor, or say you request a good price from the vendor, they're not going to catch you your best fish to send you for that.
Got it.
So you need to understand if you're going to get better quality, you're going to pay a little bit more.
Got it.
That just goes with everything. I mean, that goes from food to
And
everything you want in your everyday life too.
Right.
It's the same thing with fish. If you're going to buy cheap, you're going to get, unfortunately,
you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So the other thing that a lot of people don't realize is the supply chain involved in, how many tanks did you say you had?
There's 1,300.
1,300. So I know you guys can't see them all, but 1,300 aquariums require countries, and you probably deal with what, 10, 15 different countries for all these fish?
Yeah, we import fish directly from, Peru and Colombia and South America, and then we also import from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Thailand, from Vietnam, from India, Indonesia. Those fish all come directly to us. So we don't go through a middleman to get the fish. So the
Okay.
fish are all coming directly here. For that reason, we're able to start with a better product to begin with, if somebody else hasn't already done something to it. So it works way better for us that way. You import the fish directly yourself. You also have good rapport with the suppliers from these different countries because you get to know them and you work with them over the years, and then they send you better
Got it.
fish because they know you and they know how it works.
Right, and the standard you've developed with them through the years, so they expect
And
certain.
you know which countries, after a lot of experience, which countries are best at doing what.
Got it.
I mean, some countries are great at swordtails, and another country's great at guppies, but it may be the reverse. You don't want to buy those from the other.
Right,
You know, so
right.
you gotta know where to get fish from. It
So,
also causes more freight costs because you're buying fish from more places than you would like to, but if you're buying bad quality, it doesn't make sense to even,
Right.
even pay any for bad quality fish. So
that's interesting. So, yeah, at the end of the day, you get what you pay for.
you get what you pay for. So it's important to travel, visit your vendors, see what, get face-to-face meetings. That way you're more likely to get better stuff when you actually meet with people and you get to know them. So it's very important. I think that's been really much lost in today's world. I'm kind of an advocate of a lot of the old school type things. Today's world where it's email and
Yeah,
texting and
and
WhatsApp
video, yeah.
and all this. You don't even know who your suppliers are anymore.
So it could be a broker who's
Yes. Pick up a phone and actually talk to somebody.
the guy who's actually breeding
Yes. It's
this
very important.
platy.
Very
Right.
important to actually talk to people. And I think that's really missing in today's world. It's so much, I know you've seen the commercials on TV with a family sitting at the table over dinner and they're all texting each other. Because
Right.
they don't want to talk to each other. So I think that's really caused a lot of harm in a lot of ways, but this is one of them.
Okay. You want to feed some of these fish, show how they're,
feed some stuff.
how healthy they are, and
And one of the things you keep in mind too, again, we talked about you get what you pay for. You buy better quality stuff. In this case, fish food. We have a really nice quality fish food.
yep, yep.
And
Thank
get
you.
Better quality food. You get. And I just made a mess.
Oh.
But you get better quality fish because they eat the food.
Right.
Well, they're supposed to be eating the food. Let's feed
There's-
somebody
there's
who's
no-
act-
yeah,
let's,
there's-
let's feed somebody who's actually hungry. Again, when you look at fish in an aquarium, they should come up actively and want to feed. They didn't know what that was at first. I think I scared them. But fish should know how to feed. They should be up and active, and that makes for a healthy fish. I mean,
Right.
he was talking about the guppies a while back. I mean, one of the biggest problems with guppies as guppies get older and inbred and all the other problems we talked about is they can't hold up their tails anymore. They're like bent. Well, a good guppy should not have that. So we believe again in good variety of guppies, good quality guppies, and we've used the same suppliers for these forever. And we
That's
know
great.
which ones are going to have better fish. And there's a lot of new strains. There's like little koi tuxedo now, which is incredibly popular fish.
So this is a new fish?
It's a fairly new strain, and the females are down here below. And the females even have nice color. But
Yeah, I
most
saw
female guppies don't have much color, but those have the nice little red nose and the red tail.
Cool.
So it will breed true. That's a true strain.
Oh, okay. Is that how you tell?
Well, we know this is the true strain because they breed. We do have true strains of most of the guppies. A lot of places only sell assorted. We do offer, not every color, but most of the colors we do offer male and female.
Wow, so
sometimes,
pairs.
sometimes you have to ask.
Got it.
Because unfortunately, most people buy assorted. And in my mind, assorted gives you a better variety of colors, but it may not be the best representation of a fish. So
Right,
I think you'd
right.
be better off in some cases, excuse me, having a few less varieties
Okay.
and more of them. Because they look, I mean, like for instance, you look at a huge group of something, they look awesome together. Whereas if you have a variety of colors, they also look good, but it's a big variety of green together like that. This looks super. Not that I'm saying that every store should have multiple tanks devoted to guppies, but I do believe that guppies, again, being a cichlid guy and never wanting to carry some of this stuff, this is a very important fish. Every aquarium store in the world sells this, and it's very important to have healthy ones.
Right.
And you don't want the public buying unhealthy guppies. So
And I see you guys keep track of
We
everything.
keep very well track of everything. We keep track of what dies, the date it comes in, where it comes from, medications used, water changes. That way we know how everything's working. All of our tanks are equipped with the Matten filters, the German style filter, which is it's a foam wall in the aquarium, which works wonderfully for filtration. It's just a really nice way to filter a tank.
What else you got? Let's go.
And we have all kinds of fish. Like we said, we supply pretty much everything an aquarium store could need. I mean, we have, you want to go that way or this way?
Wherever you want.
Let's go.
We'll follow you.
We'll follow me. We'll just walk around.
We're a
We
guest.
don't want to make this all day.
Yes.
On this side of the room, we have lots of shrimp, which are one of the new, I shouldn't say new, but a thing that continues to blossom and sell more and more. One thing that's really taken off is all the fancy snails.
Really?
We have lots of snails, rabbit snails, bicolored snail, all the different kinds of nerites. I mean, there's so many cool freshwater snails that people never get to see. They're out there.
They're good for puffers.
Yeah, puffers will eat a lot of them. On this same row, we also have the start of our Tetras and our West African cichlids, which we have a lot of. Nice group of fish that unfortunately don't have the popularity that they deserve. West African cichlids are beautiful fish.
Why do you think that is?
They've kind of gotten lost in the, maybe because a lot of the names are too confusing. There's been too much revision of names, and they're not as readily available as some of the other smaller dwarf cichlids, but they're well worth carrying.
Okay.
I would certainly recommend certainly some of them.
Got it.
Lots of shrimp, we have frogs. And then,
Frogs too, huh?
Frogs, little dwarf aquatic frogs, very important item to have.
That's great. Okay.
Let's see. This side over here, we carry lots of arowanas and puffers. It's important we keep all these things separate. Arowanas and puffers, most puffers fight with each other. So we keep them individual, so when you get them from us, they will not be beat up. So they'll be in really nice shape.
Where are the puffers?
I don't know if there's any here. They're all sold. We're so popular.
Sold out.
Sold out of puffers, but the whole top row is arowanas.
Wow, that's a lot of arowanas.
A lot of arowanas. And depending on season, we'll have silvers, we'll have jardinis, we'll have blacks, you know, a variety of things. Right now, I think it's only silvers.
Okay.
And as we move around the room, we try to keep things somewhat organized by region or kind of fish. So as we move through, our next aisle, if we go down this way, would be what we call all of the
Labyrinth
all the
fish.
gourami types, the gouramis and bettas, as well as smaller rainbow fish, and then killifish. Not really a labyrinth fish, but it's a good place to keep them. Yeah, lots of cool killies. Killies get a bad rap as being aggressive. Some are, but a lot of them are not. There's some nice pearl gouramis eating this really nice quality food from the cobalt. And,
Nice.
Just a variety of things. We have all kinds of weird things. I mean, again, we specialize in odd things. We have right now we have 3 different kinds of chocolate gouramis.
What are these?
We have multiple different kinds of half-beaks. This is the platinum half-beak.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Weird looking fish. Some of them are not doing so well because they're bent. So other thing too is you'll never get fish like that. They come here and then they stay here. They don't go anywhere.
Oh, they're
So
eating.
a lot of fish come here. And
They're
then,
predators, aren't they? Little
yeah,
predators.
somewhat. Little macro predators.
Yeah. Well, they're taking on the ultra pellets.
And
That's
then
good.
We have small rainbow fish in this aisle. We have a lot of gobies in this aisle. Just a good variety of things. We're really, yeah, we have the glow sharks. An item
That's
that
your favorite?
I'm not overly excited about, but we're known for having very high quality dwarf gouramis that do not have the ulcer disease. And we do offer, depending on what time of the year, we do offer male and female of each kind.
Is that rare to get female?
Yes, because usually the females have all kinds of problems.
Oh, did not know that.
A lot of times it's because the females are so large that they come in all 8 pounds,
Oh,
which is a big problem, and then they end up with infections.
Got it.
Just a huge variety of things, and lots of more killifish, rainbow fish, labyrinth, little African bush fish.
So you said how many tanks in here?
There's 1,300 tanks, so
And-
each rows has different things.
Right, it's different parts of the world, so to speak, or types.
So to speak, or regions. Of
Yep.
things so we kind of somewhat stay organized by what we have.
What about how many species you think you have here?
That's a really good question. We should have added that up before we started. Huh?
There's a lot.
There's a lot. I don't know. I'm going to guess 800, maybe 900. But then we also have multiple species, you know, like lots of different kinds of guppies. So that would not be multiple species, obviously. Yeah, this is the Argentine pearlfish, the little pearl Coulee.
Those are really
Beautiful, this little pair here.
Yep.
Recording in front of the... We do sell all of our Coulee fish in pairs, so you will get a male, female. They also are the correct females for the Coulees. There's a lot of, unfortunately, mixed up Coulees around the world.
Yeah, almost reminds me of a little baddest or something.
Yes, or a little dwarf sunfish, something like that.
Right.
So we have an enormous variety of fish. That's because I like all kinds of different fish, and we try to do as much as possible. This is we like to say, the aquarium store row.
Oh.
We have cardinals, neons.
The bread and butter.
Cardinals, neons, rummy nose, marble hatchets, you know, the stuff that every store needs. And then all the basic corridors are also on this row on the bottom.
So you gotta give them some small food. You should try the
Yeah, let's try some of the
Smartimia.
Smartimia, which is a very small, let's see, let's put some on here for these little cardinals. There they go. So again, all these fish come in, they're conditioned, they're here sometimes, well, everything's here for a minimum of a week. Some things in this case could be here for months and months, so you can get fish that are really, really nice shape because they've been here a really long time. Again, everything should be good, but
right.
you can always ask, you know, how long have those fish been here? Some of the things have been here for months, and then that way you're definitely going to get even better quality than you would otherwise.
Hatchets.
Yeah, right now we have silver hatchets, we have platinum hatchets, we have marble hatchets, we have pygmy hatchets, and we have dwarf hatchets. And
wow.
Spotted hatchets. So we have 6 kinds of hatchets, all in stock right now.
And they do pretty well overall health-wise. It's
Once
not
they settle, hatchets are a really tough since it's shipping fish, so are like rummy nose. And so those kinds of fish, once they come in and settle, let's find a good tank. Here's a good tank. So a good tank of rummy nose, you know, you're going to have, again, rummy nose are a really problematic fish. It's really nice to get them in, get them conditioned, get them looking good, but they take a while. And you're always going to get a few dinks in the batch. So you're going to see some fish in there on his film that are skinny or smaller. Those fish will never be shipped out. But
got it.
They're there, so we let them sit. And then, like I said, Barb is all corridorus, so we have probably 20 kinds of corridorus. We have probably 40 or 50 kinds of Tetras. And so, again, some of this stuff is very seasonal. Corridorus concolor, for instance, that he just showed. You see that a few times a year. Otherwise, stuff like Albino and you know, stuff like that you see all the time. There's the Corridorus atropersonata, Corridorus adolphi.
And you got pencil fish?
Pencil fish, we have, yeah, right now we have equus pencils, we have marginatus pencils, we have trifasciata pencils, we have purple pencils, we have red pencils. So we have a lot of pencil fish.
Do you have a number 2 pencil?
The number 2 pencil is in the office.
Oh, got it. So you even get that.
Green neon's another kind of overlooked fish in the aquarium world, a really nice little tetra. It's kind of between the neon and the cardinal for color. It kind of looks like a cardinal more than a neon, but it's between the two, and it's the smallest of the group, with the cardinal being the largest. You can see that the red does not go all the way forward, but it is somewhat there.
Right. It's cool.
But it's a very nice, smaller tetra. Sells really well. Corridorus adolphi. More green neons. Again, we bring in lots of this stuff so that it sits here and gets in condition for you.
That's great.
Wild Emperor Tetras, Hemiotis, Nice schooling, larger kerosene. There's the purple pencils, which is a really attractive pencil fish. The Nostomus rubrocadonis, really nice fish.
So you're feeding fish all the time.
We're always feeding fish. One of the things, again, I said is so important is fish nutrition. Fish need to eat. How do you feel if you don't eat? You know,
Right,
it's important
right.
that fish eat. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, a lot of fish, when they're shipped for long periods of time, miss a whole lot of meals because they can't be fed because they're being shipped. Or, unfortunately, a lot of places believe that feeding fish is too expensive, so they don't do it. Which
Got
is
it.
also a real problem, because if you have unhealthy fish, skinny fish, they also don't travel very well. So it's important that fish are in good shape. So again, huge variety of fish. We try to get always the best we can again. There's wild diamond tetra, something you don't see very
Wild,
often.
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's wild diamond tetra from Colombia. Way better looking than the domestic stuff. More hatchets. Again, there's lots of tanks and some of them more hatchets, because we need a lot of them so that we have enough for everybody. We feel it's very important, you know, with our customers, that we take care of our customers as well as, you know, if you're buying fish from us, we feel like, you know, we're in a team together. So
Right.
we're providing good quality for you, and you continue to buy a lot of stuff from us, and so we work really well together that way. So
That's great.
you know, we're only as good as you are. So if you sell a lot of fish, then we will sell a lot of fish. So it does us no good to send you fish that are no good,
Right. So
because one, you'll never buy fish again.
yeah, and you're not open to every store that calls you. I mean, you.
No, we have a waiting list for customers to come on. So it's not the easiest thing for everybody to come on. One thing we do require from our stores is they have to buy a variety of fish. We don't need anybody that just wants only the rare fish. Because to get a lot of the rare fish, you have to buy common fish. And I was
Right.
talking about freight earlier. If you're importing fish from a country and you import nothing but rare fish with a few boxes, your freight is really expensive. So that makes your
Got it.
fish really expensive. So
Got
the
it.
way you offset that is you bring in common fish to make the freight rate work. Because the more freight rate, or the more freight you have, or the more weight you have, the better rate you get.
Got
And
it.
so that gets the price down on the rarer fish, but you need the common fish to do it.
Got it.
So it's a combination. So we need stores to want to buy a variety. We want common fish, we want cories, we want tetras, we want rasboras, as well as, you know, African cichlids, the things he's looking at now. Weird El Plecos, which we haven't got to that aisle yet. And then the live bears. You know, we sell lots of kinds of fancy bettas, which he just kind of went through. So there's lots of that too.
Okay. So
The next aisle is we do a lot of dwarf cichlids. So you'll notice on the top here a lot of Apistogramma. We have, I believe, 12 or 15 kinds of Apistogramma in stock most of the time. Some of them vary a little bit. Most of these are tank raised. We do get a few that are wild, but most are tank raised. Been dealing with the same farm for years. And we have really good quality fish. We have all different kinds of rams. You know, Bolivian rams, electric blue rams, electric blue gold-faced rams, gold rams, blue rams.
wow,
Excuse me.
Dodge Ram.
Again, which are all in very good health. They're doing really well. Again, they're all conditioned. They're fed. Most of the Apistogrammas we try to send in pairs. Sometimes they're a little hard to sex, but a lot of times we can get them in pairs for you.
Wow, they're beautiful.
Apistogramma is a great little fish. They're basically a micro version of the geophagus, so they're going to be earth eaters, so they feed from the bottom. Very important to keep in mind that Apistogrammas in an aquarium store do not do particularly well on large-sized gravel because they can't sift it. Yeah, here's a really rare fish. This is Uaro Fernandez Yapezi from Colombia.
Very nice.
Very hard fish to get, very seasonal, and very hard to get in that kind of condition. So,
Really?
as you'll notice, they've been here, 3 weeks now to finally get in any kind of shape to even think about being sold. So, it takes them a long time.
Yeah, absolutely.
The middle and sides here are all plecos. It's kind of hard to see a lot of them because, again, one of the other things we believe in is one of the biggest factors to unhealthy fish is stress. And so to reduce stress, you try to give the fish environment, because I send to so many places and they have fish in bare tanks. Well, fish in bare tanks are stressed because there's nowhere to hide, there's nowhere to go. And so if you have a good variety of ornaments in the tank, not all in one corner. I mean, you know, you'd be stressed too if someone came to your house and put your couch in the corner of your room.
Right.
You wouldn't be real happy. So you get a variety of things that removes the stress from the equation, which allows for a lot healthier fish because of removing the stress. Unfortunately, in this case, it makes it a little harder for you to see some of these guys because they're all hiding under the wood.
Yeah, well, that's all
Here
right.
you have L204 and L226, both from Peru.
Wow.
And so you showed Farloellas a few minutes ago. That's a Colombian import.
So there's a
And
little
we have
cheat
lots
sheet.
of other things. Yeah, there's a big pleco tree and all the different kinds of Panaculus. Here's our blue rams, which are one of our best-selling fish because our blue rams are actually healthy. They'll actually breed in the aquariums for you. So, and we have both sexes. So
Wow.
it's not an
Here's
issue.
more of
There's
these
more of the
Uaru.
Uaru.
You
Again,
must-
when things are in season, it's very important to buy accordingly. So we have to buy them when they're in season, and then unfortunately that means we have a lot of them. So we sit on them for a while to make sure they're in good shape.
Cool. Very nice.
So lots of different things. There's lots of plecos on this side. I think you can see anybody. If you can see those guys. Maybe they'll come out. L200. This is the green phantom. This is the high fin version, which is actually a different species. But again, a lot of these plecos being wild are all very seasonal. This is L134, the little Picoltia compta, the leopard frog pleco. Really nice little fish. So again, this whole entire row is all L-numbered plecos. So again, they're here, they're fed, they're conditioned, they're taken care of, and then they're shipped out.
Very cool.
As we move across the aisle and move to the other side, now we've got into labyrinth, or excuse me, not labyrinth, I said that was the other row. The cyprinids. This is all your cyprinids. So barbs, rasboras, danios, sharks, all that kind of stuff. So there you have the little hyphen banded shark. We have lots of rasboras. I think we have 20 different kinds of rasboras. We have all four kinds of the quote pork chop rasbora, which would be the heteromorpha, and then we have SP, we have Hendlai, we have what's the rare one? I lost the name right now. From Fonzie. So we have a lot. And then in this aisle we have some more food, courtesy of cobalt. This is another, again, we feed a lot of cobalt food because it's really good, and the fish really like it. They do really well with it. Here's a whole nice batch of Odessa barbs. A fish I recommend everybody should have. This is a beautiful barb. It's not overly aggressive. Beautiful color.
Those are nice.
Kind of hard to see them at the moment because they're not eating, but it's beautiful red and black.
Got a reflection. It's a little.
Beautiful fish. But again, this is the way your fish should act when you feed them. They should be eager and ready to go. So lots of fish, lots. We have, I think, 15 different kinds of loaches. We have 10 kinds of danios. We have 15 kinds of barbs. We have all kinds of different things. And again, a lot of it's seasonal, depending on what we can get. But again, we get them in, we sit on them. Here's some lineatus barbs, a really underappreciated barb, not aggressive at all.
How big do they get?
They get about another inch bigger than that.
Oh, nice fish.
And they've been here since March, so those have been here. You know, those are nice and healthy.
Yeah, they all look.
Those
I
have been
mean,
here a long time.
they look really healthy.
Underappreciated too.
What are? Oh, these are all the.
Those are more SP. This is another really underappreciated fish here, which is the Sarawak rasbora. It's actually light sky blue with some orange in it. It's a beautiful rasbora. That's as big as they get. And as you can see in this aquarium, we use a lot of cobalt heaters because they work really well in our aquariums to keep our tanks the temperatures we need. Nice. And I really like the fact that they have the temperatures. You can see what the temperature of the tank is reading on the heater.
Right.
That's really important to have.
Pretty cool fish.
This is a really cool fish, the little red lizard loach, Homoloptera. This is a group of fish that come from Thailand. A really cool little group of loaches. They're little hill stream type, live in fast moving water. Really cool fish.
Always moving.
Always moving, making it hard to film, but Not overly large, maybe another couple inches bigger than that. Not a big fish. They are very fond of baby brine, like the front of the tank says. They like pelleted foods. They're not particularly picky, but they can be quite finicky at times.
Very
Lots
nice.
of Coulee Loaches. We have really healthy Coulee Loaches. A lot of Coulee Loaches places are just not healthy at all, but these are very healthy. We have, God, we have so many different barbs. We have Barbus fasciolatus, which is a stunning barb. This is the African fire barb. They get bright orange with the little stripes, kind of look like a tiger, but they're not aggressive at all. So it's a really nice fish. Again, on this side, unlike the other side where we use the wood and stuff for caves, for decoration, over here we use plants. Again, fish are way more comfortable if they have decor. So the plants make them much happier. We use a lot of the little tubes, like you're seeing in this picture too, for a lot of the loaches and things. So the loaches sit in the tubes, and that makes them happy. Again, one of the biggest factors is making fish happy, removing stress. Lots of cool different things. There's a bunch of fish. There's your basic zebra danio, but again, a fish that every fish store should have, because it's a fish that everybody buys. These are really cool too. The Kubatai Loach, they'll come back up to the front there. I just scared them. This is a great loach.
Oh yeah, they're neat.
Botia Kubatai, Burma border loach. Some people call them polka dot botia. It comes from Thailand, right on the Burma border. Kind of going with the name. It's a really nice fish. Again, seasonal, only available little bits of the year. Right now happens to be available, so well worth having. I think loaches are a great addition to aquarium stores. I think one of the problems most aquarium stores have is they get into a rut and they tend to buy the same fish over and over and over. I think it's important to have your customers see a variety of different things.
Right.
So I'm not saying to fill your store full of all rare fish. I think that would be a mistake, but to buy a variety of things and trade things out. There's another great barb right here, the clown barb, which is a stunning barb. Gets about 5 inches long, but again, not really overly aggressive. It gets this beautiful orangish yellow color too with the bars. Beautiful. Little clown loach.
Clown's got to be one of the most
Clowns
popular.
are one of the most popular fish around, so there's just lots of things.
Cool.
But keep that in mind. Good variety of fish in your stores, as well common as well as unusual. I see a lot of stores not wanting to carry common fish because the chain stores do. I think that's a big mistake. Why would you send someone to another store if they want neon tetras? Why would you?
Right.
Why would you not have neon tetras?
Well, neon tetra is one of the most popular
Yes,
fish there is.
But I do have stores that don't carry neon tetras because the chain stores do.
I also notice there's a pleco or pleco.
We keep plecos in a lot of the tanks. This one here, for instance, is to keep the algae off the front. But a lot of with the smaller tanks, a lot of these marble sailfin or spotted sailfin type plecos do a great job of keeping the slime off the bottom of the tank. That's very important with a lot of these food stressy hatchet fish and things where they only live at the top of the tank. So once the food goes past them, it goes to the bottom and molds. So you end up with this slime on the bottom, which is a really bad thing. So the plecos keep the slime off the bottom, which is a really important thing.
How many rows do you have? One.
1, 2, I don't even know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 on each side.
6 on each side. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You got all sorts of discus here.
This row is discus. So after many years, we finally found again, by visiting vendors and finding good people, we finally found a really good vendor for discus. So I always wanted a wholesale discus and never could because discus were always too expensive or
the
bad
quality. Yeah.
And so now we have good quality that's not that expensive. So this is what I've been searching for a long time, and our customer base has really launched into it because the discus are very well appreciated. They sell very well. They're very healthy. Nothing sick.
Wow, they're beautiful.
People really appreciate this.
And there's some big ones.
Yeah, we usually only offer 2, 2.5, and 3 inch. Occasionally we'll have the 4 inch like you see here. The problem with the 4 inch is they're just too expensive and most of the cost is freight.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it is too much water. But we have, I believe, up to 10 different kinds. Again, everything looks really healthy. Lots of discus, an entire row of discus now.
That's
Years
awesome.
ago, I never would have thought I would have this many discus, but again, this is what people have decided that they want, and we've tried to make sure that we've got a good variety and really healthy.
That's pretty awesome.
The middle row on this side is all Apistogrammas, so again, lots of dwarf cichlids and a few Tetras with them because that's what's natural for them. So it works really well to have all of these small dwarf cichlids, which are great fish for most people because again, people have smaller aquariums, and it works really well. Yeah, that's a Vanacar adokita, which is a fairly rare little South American cichlid, and then there's also some Apistogramma mendezii in there. So a variety of things. But again, we have all these different Apistos. Most of what you're seeing here so far is all tank raised. We do have a few wild ones, but not as many. Mostly tank raised stuff. There's some fire red egg is easy, which is a real popular one. Not one of my personal favorites, but I tend to appreciate more the natural type of color, but this is a very popular fish and very well received by most people.
Yeah, cool looking. Nice colors.
Lots of other Tetras, again, lots of Corydoras. We sell an amazing amount of Corydoras panda. It's an incredibly popular fish. We have tanks and tanks and tanks of them because they're so popular. And they tend to not always come in the best, so they have to sit and recover. And so for that reason, they come in and we have a lot of them so that we can get them in really nice shape for you.
Very cool.
With the Corydoras, it's really important to have, in this case, sand substrate. Corys also do not do well on gravel because they can't sift it, and it tends to cause a lot of trouble with their barbels. So the sand bottom is an ideal thing for them.
Oh, he's over here.
Those are, this is a Hopflow Cat, so Hopflow sternum, now it's Megalichthus, but Thoracotum, the marble Hopflow, but this is an albino form of it.
See if I can get one.
So albino marble Hopflow Cat. Something that's fairly new. I've only seen this probably for the last maybe 4 years now.
Interesting.
I've never seen it before that. It may have been around, I just may not have seen it, but there's a lot of things that come and go, that's for sure. Just kind of like this fish up here. This is the gold Emperor Tetra, so it's a gold version of an Emperor Tetra. It's actually quite pretty. It's bright gold, but another sport of different things to try.
Interesting. And that's a regular?
This is the Kiri Tetra, so this is the purple Emperor. Impaichthys kiri, or purple or blue Emperor. Lemon Tetras, there's all kinds. Penguin Tetras.
Yeah, penguins are always a cool looking fish.
Again, lots of things have to come in and take a lot of care to get them back in shape and ready to go.
That's great.
If we keep going, then in this aisle here, we have started with mostly African cichlids. There are African cichlids and rainbow fish. The reason they're together is rainbow fish like nice hard water like the African cichlids do. Most rainbow fish. Let me fix that before I say something wrong. There are some rainbow fish that do not, but most do. So they work really well together in the same aisle. So this side is mostly Malawi fish and rainbows. A few other things that live well with some of the Malawi, like the Bala sharks, for instance. Another fish that does very well in hard water. So I should mention that here. Here in Portland, we have incredibly soft water. Some people think that's a great thing. For the most part, it is, yes, but it can also cause some real problems because we have the better part of zero hardness in our water. So what that means is if you just put an air light in a bucket of water and bubble it, our pH will be below 5.
Wow.
So that causes a real problem. It can be good for some fish, but it can cause a real problem for others where you can have pH crashes.
Like these.
Yes. And if you happen to do a water change without paying attention, you will have catastrophic effects. So this is why it's very important when you get fish, no matter from what vendor. Acclimating fish is an incredibly important thing that's really missed. And unfortunately, there is some misnomer out there by some sources saying that you don't have to acclimate fish. big problem because pH changes are a huge factor from parts of the country. You know, if you get fish in the aquarium store in your own city, the water's probably pretty close to the same. But if you're shipping fish across the country,
and it's more for stores to worry about.
Stores, for instance, you don't know how long those fish have been packed.
Right.
How many fish are in the bag? There's a lot of factors. And we all know when fish are packed in a bag, the pH tends to go down.
Right.
So if you have really hard water and you dump fish out that are in low pH, you're going to kill them. So it's very important to acclimate them. And that's a thing that we do, and we do it very slowly depending on what kinds of fish. We have lots of Synodontis cats. One he's showing right here, that's Lucipinus. So we have quite a few different kinds. There we have a lot of Rostratum, which is the largest of all of the Alanicara. More rainbow fish. Rainbow fish will eat a nice cobalt food too, I'm sure.
Rainbow fish can eat for the size of their mouth. It's incredible how much they can handle. Bigger pellets. Obviously, this might be a little small for them, but
yeah, most of the larger rainbows like these and like the boson that we saw earlier, when you order those, we try to ship them to you in pairs. This is the Kamaka rainbow. It's kind of like a turquoise, but not.
yeah, the body shape's a little.
This one's harder to sex, but the ones we can sex, we try to send in pairs. Then this side, on the middle on this side is all like Tanganyikan fish. So there's a lot of different Neolamprologus and Lamprologus and everything from right down the line. So lots of different Lake Tanganyikan cichlids.
Wow.
Probably
Very
20
nice.
or 20 or more different kinds, maybe even more than that. So a very important group of fish to keep around. I mean, more and more stores seem to be not doing much with cichlids at all, especially African cichlids. And I think they're really missing out. I mean, I don't expect you to have a lot, but I mean, you know, there's a bunch of baby gold sex fasciatus that had a fin problem. So that's a tank that we won't be selling out of. But you can keep going that way, why not?
Okay.
And then we also raise a lot of fish here too. So we start into the breeding aisles. Here we have fish that we breed here. And we have larger fish. We have pellets for a little bit bigger fish. Let's see if these guys are here on it.
A little bit freaked out here.
Yeah, they don't know it's camping. They also don't recognize Viral because he's not here very often. But here you have some larger pellets for the cichlids going after it. Some of the Alanicara Hooseri in this case.
It's hard.
So here we have the fish we raise. Again, a lot of Lake Tanganyikan fish. You see the parents with all the babies. So a lot of the fish you will be getting from us are fish we raised here. So not everything, but a lot of them.
Sure.
A lot of the smaller Lake Tanganyikan cichlids for sure.
How many fish do you breed? How many fish do you breed here?
We probably have about, I don't know, 50, 60 species probably.
Wow.
We have the largest selection of Alanicara, which are the peacock cichlid of Lake Malawi. There's 40 different types of those in this room. That is the most Alanicara anywhere in the world outside of Lake Malawi. So
Wow.
we have them all. We have them all straight, no hybrids. So if you want the right things, there they are. There's Gelitochromis ornatus. We raise all of the different Gelitochromis. There's the daffodil.
You can tell that guy's old. Or older.
One on the left there too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, these are some big fish.
These can take over a tank pretty easy.
Yeah, if they start breeding enough, yes, they'll take over a big time.
All right.
We raise a lot of this stuff. As you walk down the aisle, you'll just see parents and babies everywhere. Again, lots of Alanicara.
Wow. That's actually one of your favorite fish, right?
That is one of my favorite fish. Fish I've been known for years. This is a Copenachroma, so it's not an Alanicara, but it looks kind of like it. But yeah, been known for having all these different Alanicara for a mighty long time now. A few of the other shell dwellers. This is Lamprologus or Neolamprologus similis. Here's Neolamprologus multifasciatus. This is Neolamprologus maringuensis. Again, all fish that we raise here. Video Apistogramma attenuatus.
They're pretty neat looking fish.
So what you see here is you see the little huts. So what happens is the pairs breed in the caves and then they defend the caves from the others. And the nice thing with these completely enclosed caves is what you can do is you look into the cave and you can see the babies in there. And as you see them start, what I like to say, almost like popcorn, where they're kind of bouncing. You can reach in, put your finger over the cave and move it and take the babies out and move them to another tank. So the caves at the bottom work really well. Here you have some ocelotus. They're breeding in little shells. The males are fighting with each other big time down there.
Very nice.
So just lots of baby fish.
Lots and lots.
Lots and lots of baby fish.
Yeah, all these are holding, it looks like. A lot of these are just their mouth structure.
A lot of Carahans, Bayshai from Cobway. Yeah, bright blue with the red shoulder. Beautiful
Let's
fish.
see if I can get.
He doesn't like your camera too much, but
Nope.
stunning fish. And there's a female right in front of you. She even has a mouthful. So what that means is Lake Malawi cichlids are all mouth brooders, but there's only one fish in Lake Malawi that is not. That's tilapia rendeli. But everything else in Lake Malawi is a mouth brooder. So when you see the mouths distended on the females, that means the females are holding eggs in their mouth.
Oh. One more row?
We have one more row. One more row of breeders here. We have more crazy rays, more Holocara. Holocara is a true egg. If there is an Holocara, it should be here. Unless it's a hybrid. I don't have any hybrid type Holocara. So there's no Turkish, there's no OB, there's no stuff like that. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the fish other than I personally don't want to raise it.
Yeah, yep, I get it.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just something I choose not to want to raise. Now these tanks he's showing us, these are 60-gallon tanks. The ones on top are all 75. So it's a good variety. All in the Carla Wanda up top. Kind of hard to see them with the.
I'm freaking them out a little bit.
It's freaking them out. They don't like your camera. Who knew that you were so scary, Bill?
A lot of people did.
Scaring all the fish. As you will see,
Lot
more
of
of the
people.
Malawis will eat the pellets. Again, good quality food. They'll go crazy for it.
Yeah, I'm freaking them out, but
Yeah, they're not used to this people being here. So
it's a nice little
here's
fish.
a pair of Humetlania Nanoluteus. They should have some babies right in that hole in front of them, but I don't know if you can get your camera that far down to see it.
Let's see.
They should have some. The way they're acting, there should be something down there. There's something, maybe not, but they sure acting like they do. The fact that they're getting ready to attack your camera usually allows you to think that there's something there, if not eggs or something.
That's a nice looking
It's a
fish.
beautiful small Central American cichlid. That's pretty much full size. This is sometimes we call it the yellow convict, kind of a bad name for a good fish, but Nanoluteus is the species name. Or Nanoluteus, however you want to say that.
Yeah, very nice fish.
Here's
Great.
a pair of Gold Sex Fasciatus and Neolamprologus with a tremendous school of fry.
A lot of babies.
A lot of babies.
Well, I guess we can go on forever, but
Oh yeah, there's lots. You should show a couple Geophagus first.
all right.
You got to show these before we leave the room. This is Geophagus steni, which has got to be one of the most beautiful Geophagus that there is.
Wow.
That is a stunning fish. Those fish are, what, 8 inches long or better. Maybe even bigger than that. Really nice fish.
You have babies of those?
We do offer babies of those, yes.
So that's how old of a fish?
We've We've had those probably 4 years.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah. Anyway, lots and lots of things to look at.
All right.
Thank you for letting us show you some fish and see some neat things. Hopefully you've got inspired to bring in some new things to your aquarium store and really, make your customers happy as they can see some different things that you may not have thought about bringing in.
Yeah, and promote the hobby. Obviously, this is a great opportunity to learn a lot, from science to geography to art to everything, math. Just share it with somebody, and let's get more people keeping aquariums.
The hobby is a very important thing that's really getting kind of left out. I mean, because there's not as many interesting things, and it's nice to really work with all these fish and get to see so many different things. And hopefully everybody will want to do that, and will keep the hobby going.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much. Have a great